All right, well, we've got a little magic to talk about. 26-year-old Matt Franco made history this week on America's Got Talent. He was the first magician to win on the NBC TV hit show. Kind of nice to see a magician get a little recognition now. Are you guys, anybody catch this episode?
You mean a magician had never won before?
No, we got singers,
shocked.
we got dancers.
A ventriloquist went, but I thought this guy took magic to an entirely different level. And I think he deserves a lot of credit. He probably really deserves to win because he was so over-the-top fantastic, I thought, really.
How about you, Dee Dee?
Yeah, I mean, I watched, with the segment, I didn't watch it at the time, but the review of it, and it's like, what a great guy. I mean, you just kind of like watching him talk. He could, do magic, do a talk show. He could end up in Vegas. Good for him.
And 26 years old. I think we're going to see him around for quite a while.
He'll have his own show in Vegas and do very well,
Too many
sure.
singers. It's just a nice change.
I think it's fun to watch magic cards like that, like things like that. I was always fascinated by that as a kid.
Maybe he'll turn into the next Houdini.
You know something? There hasn't been one like that for a while.
We could use one.
I have a psychologist friend who can't watch that stuff. He's a very good psychologist, but he says he can't take not knowing how they do it. So
maybe he needs a psychologist.
There you go.
I think you better go talk to your friend there, Dr. Bart. All right, well, we're talking TV right now. Darrell Hammond is back on Saturday Night Live. He's returning to the show that, of course, made him famous as the announcer. He will replace Don Pardo, who died in August. And that's not Darrell Hammond, but we are certainly very happy to hear that he's going to be back on there. I actually did a little work with him. I don't know if there he is. There's Darrell Hammond with his Yankee hat on. There we go.
And what did you do, Mia? What did you do with Darrell Hammond?
Did a couple things for charity. Did a couple of charity shows and stuff like that. I don't know, Alyssa, I had sent her the picture, but I don't think we have that. But
he's so talented. I think that's a great move.
But he did Bill
tell you
Clinton,
something.
right?
He is so funny.
Isn't he the best with Bill Clinton imitations?
The imitations, but
I think
just
he did Gore too.
So quick and so fast and so funny and so generous with charity organizations. So very, very happy to hear about that. Well, all right, we were talking magic, right? Well, let's just call it a disappearing act of a different kind. But how about some disappearing dollars? Home Depot said there has been a cyber attack that is much bigger than the holiday attack at Target last year. Dee Dee, I know this one hits your heart pretty close because you were one of those Target people that was targeted.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like we're dealing with this now every week. It's very commonplace, so we're going to have to take care of things on our own, or I guess carry around a bunch of cash. Put the cash in a mattress because it's
that's a great
dangerous.
Point. I know a lot of people who are doing that. They actually are carrying around
cash.
much more cash and paying and not using their card.
Well, Paul Auster, who's on our show quite frequently, he said, just some tips, let's remind our audience right now, try not to use that debit card very often, because if they do get those numbers, it's harder to retrace and get that money back. So use a credit card. Try to use just one credit card. Have one backup. And then he also said, you know what? Cash is king.
Yeah, I had my credit card stolen at Christmas holiday season, and I didn't know that they stole the number. They didn't steal the card, and so I'm walking around thinking my card was still good, and they were racking up tens of thousands of dollars.
And Daniel,
you didn't get held responsible for those.
No, I did
false
not.
charges.
I did not. No.
Daniel, you missed that boohoo session because all three of us actually
got hit.
got hit in just about the same week, and we were all sitting on this couch, and we needed to bring in another Dr. Bart.
Are you hinting it's my turn next?
No, we don't want you to get hit. But no, certainly disconcerting, but you weren't responsible. I wasn't responsible, and thankfully it was just a very big mess. But feel so sorry for everybody that's going through that. All right, well, this is a new act at Marriott if you've stayed at a hotel recently. Now, you may have seen envelopes, when you go to hotels and stuff like that, and they leave them in the room. It's for the maid to say thank you. But the program, get this, it's coming under fire on social media because a lot of people are questioning the hotels because they're all increasing those fees amid the low wages for the maid staff. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the concierge, they get tipped. You have waiters that get tipped. And hey, I think somebody that comes in and makes your bed, maybe they should get tipped. But if you start looking at those fees right now between airlines and hotels, I don't know if this was the right time. Dee Dee?
Well, look, it doesn't mean you have to, put the money in the envelope. I think it's nice to have the option, and they probably, you know, and I've done it before. Many times I've left money for the maid, you know, just because, especially if you're there for a few days, and they do a good job. But it's nice that it's optional. It's better than just slapping a fee on the bill. That's what I like about it.
I like the tipping. I always tip the maid. I always try to leave something depending on how many days we're staying, and I think it's the right thing to do. I do.
Seems a little old-fashioned. I remember doing this back in the 20th century and traveling abroad. It would be expected. It's kind of nice to be invited to return to tipping.
I agree, but I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second here. You know, there's a heck of a lot of, if you're paying $300 a night for the room, shouldn't they be paying the maid more?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah, probably.
Probably. I agree.
And I think that's where the backlash on social media came on. And boy, I'll tell you, this wasn't like a couple thousand. This was hundreds of thousands of people were really speaking out against this. Like,
yeah, I mean, I would feel more comfortable as a psychologist if I went to a place and there was no tipping. You know, like they do at some clubs. You know, you cannot tip, so that you feel a little bit more comfortable. You don't feel
but it feels weird though too to not to give them something extra. You want to, so it's an odd.
Well, I think actually the maid does the most, if you think about it. You know, rather than the guy that goes and gets your car and you have to give him $2 or something. You know, I think the maid sitting in your room for 30 minutes probably cleaning your room.
Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for them because I think they probably usually don't get tipped, and you know that's a rough job. It is. I mean, who wants to clean up after people? But they do it. They work hard, and I think they deserve a tip.
What do you think Marriott should do right now? Take the envelopes back? What do you think?
I think leave them. And why not? I mean, and they're not making you do it. It makes you think about it. I think that's nice.
Yeah, I think tipping should be part of the process, and I agree. It should be done.
Even if you pay $400 for the room?
It's just the way we are.
But
the way
optional.
It is.
I always tip too. I'm a good
Leave
tipper.
them, but pay the maids more, obviously.
I'm going with you on that one, Daniel.
Okay.
All right, iPhone or not to iPhone, the 6 and 6 Plus debuted. If you didn't notice those lines around the Apple stores, yeah, in New York City, I passed one downtown on 14th. 2,000 people waited in line, and Dee Dee's, you're nodding your head. Did you see those crowds?
I did. I'm not going to stand in line. I'm going to wait till the line ends, and then I'm getting my phone. But yeah, I'm definitely going to get one. You have to get the new iPhone. That's a cool thing to do.
Well, which one do you buy?
You still have the flip phone, don't you, Dr.
No,
Bird?
stop.
I think I saw you with that flip phone. I mean, guys, you got to get rid of that, please.
I have a 5. No.
So hold on, you're saying my iPhone 4 is out of date?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
That's very
But which
lame.
one do you buy? Do you buy the bigger one, the 6-inch one, or the 4.7-inch?
The bigger one, the best one,
That's
of
the
course.
best one?
Dee Dee
You got to
was the
have the
biggest
best
one.
one.
But now aren't they
always.
making it too big to
Not
work
at
with
all.
one hand?
I think it'll make it easier though, because you
Your
can
whole
maneuver
thumb
more.
all
Well, it's
around.
almost like a mini iPad now. It's gotten so much bigger.
They're not selling the minis anymore. They're really down.
Yeah, well, that's true too, because I think, I mean, for myself, I have the iPhone, I have the iPad, and I know, Dee Dee, you love that iPad, but
Yes, definitely.
I kind of like, I'm like, what do I need both of them for?
Yeah.
But let's talk psychology right now, Dr. Bart. You know, we have these folks that wait online. I like to get new things, but what's that say about the mentality?
Well, there's a side to this personality that is really
careful, Dr.
pretty
I am in for each of you.
pretty far out there. To wait in line for days or many hours to get this tells me that there's a certain part or personality feature here that is distinctive for that person, and a very unusual person would do that.
Okay,
with
no,
some
but what are the
traits.
No, I'm
qualities?
taking it personally.
Did you
Of course,
wait in line?
Well, I stood in line, but only for Shakespeare in the Park in Central Park.
well,
this
that's
summer,
okay.
right?
I think
But it was many hours.
I think it relates to really being the first to have something new, to be innovative. You feel like you're part of something that's like revolutionary, and I think
It's
that's part of it.
exciting.
It's
You
exciting.
I got the phone. You don't. You know, when are you going to get it? This is great. You know, and look, if it's bigger and better and a better battery.
I drop it all the time. The screen breaks. I'll just stick with my 5 right now. All right. Finally, all right. I went to the game last night. Dee Dee and I are going tomorrow. Derek Jeter. Is there any better athlete, competitor, or role model? He is retiring this week. Let's take a look at this incredible ad, courtesy of Gatorade.
I'll say it clear. I'll state my case.
What's happening, fellas?
I'm certain
Let's win it.
Leon!
Hey,
a life
this is
that's
Stan.
full.
We've been waiting for you to come in here since '98 at the least.
You never invited me.
We're here now. Thank you.
I'm signing this whole thing. All right. What's happening? You doing all right, buddy?
Yeah, that's best. captured your spirit.
I love it.
I'm older, I don't know these things.
Me either.
What is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels.
And I don't know about you guys, but I whenever I see that, I'm like almost choked up thinking about that because we watched him for 20 years grow up from a little kid to an old, he's an older guy now, middle-aged man.
You know what I find most amazing is how he prepares for the game physically to get ready for an at-bat or play shortstop, but he also prepares for his image. He has always worked hard at presenting himself the right way with the right image, and I think people have come to appreciate that now that his career is ending.
And he just was such a great role model. Maybe he should go over to the NFL and work over there for a little bit. Seriously,
That's so sappy, though. I'm sorry, but I think Derek Jeter's great. But I mean, every day the guy is getting an award. You turn on, we've got another award, and that ad. I'm sorry, it is over the top sappy. I'm laughing.
It is
I'm sorry,
sappy.
it's
It is so
ridiculous.
sappy.
No, I
mean,
have to
it's
agree.
not like he's Mother Teresa. It's not. I mean, I don't.
I
enough.
disagree. I work with kids all over the world, but I've never seen a role model who's done so much for kids in 20 years in a positive sense. So in that way, I think that I really.
But it's
really
every day,
commend him.
Derek Jeter. There's an event. There's
He's
an
got
award.
5 more.
There are fireworks.
He's
there's
got
ads.
5
Well,
more
as
days.
someone who-
Thank God it's almost over.
Someone who grew up on Cal Ripken, it is possible to be a good, squeaky clean franchise player quietly.
You can be quiet, but you know what? It's New
You
York.
have to be quiet,
But
but it's
not
have to be every day, all
You
day.
can't do it in New York. You're going to be loud. Now, we're going to be loud about something else, everyone. We do want to wish the entire Fresh Outlook team good luck tonight. We are up for 2 Emmy nominations, so we're hoping that there will be some cheers for Fresh Outlook.
Let's celebrate Mia's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Mia's much more important.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Ooh, that looks
All
good.
right, and we'll see you next week. That's all we have time for this week on Fresh Outlook. I'm Mia Toski. On behalf of our entire team, we wish you a great week, and we'll see you back here next Saturday.